now that we've heard from UMass and really the amazing work that they're doing on this campus, we're going to take a look at a broader spectrum of projects, other farm to institution projects in the Valley. We have representatives from 9 different projects, and we're going to give you an opportunity, about 45 minutes, to connect with them in small groups and really pick their brains about what's working in the work that they're doing, what challenges are they facing, what questions do they still have about how to make this work. And in each of the small groups, you're going to have a chance to introduce yourself, hear about the successes and challenges of the project at the table, and engage in conversation. Each of the groups is going to have a facilitator that's really going to help move the conversation along, and we're going to ask you all to choose a group based on your own interests. What kind of institutions are you interested in working with? What kind of projects are you drawn to? Some groups are going to be bigger than others, and that's going to be fine. And we want to let you know that it's okay for you to go to one group and then move to another if you find that you're not getting your needs met, or that you're just really curious about more than one project. That's okay. And I want to encourage the presenters and facilitators not to take any movement personally. Like, this is really an invitation for folks to learn what they can from the various projects. So before we go to that, and before I ask the representatives from the projects to come up here, I want to invite you to reflect on what institution are you connected to, either directly or maybe indirectly, that you think you might want to try to support in adopting some sort of farm to institution model. So is it your child's school? Is it your employer? Is it a hospital or a jail in your community? What kind of institution are you connected to that you might want to try to influence? And along with that, what skills, resources, and interests do you have that you want to share with a group and also explore further? So I want to actually invite you all to find somebody at your table. And I'm going to give you, so pair up with somebody at your table, and I'm going to give you 2 minutes each to reflect on what institutions you're connected to and what skills, resources, and or interests you have that you want to explore in these small groups before we get to that part. So find a partner. Now I'm going to invite the representatives from the 9 featured projects to come up here. And you're going to get a chance to share in 1 minute or less about your project. And if more than one person from your team is here today, I actually want your whole team to come up here just so we can see everybody who's involved in these projects, even though not everybody's going to be talking about the project. Like I said, we're going to give a representative from each of these projects a minute or less to share with you what the focus of their project is so that you can decide what table you want to go to. And they're going to tell you what table they're going to be at. And essentially, we're going to have 5 tables in this room. I think 4 up front and 1 in the middle. And then 4 tables out in the hall. And you're going to have about 45 minutes to go and chat in those different tables. So we're going to start with the Farm to Preschool and Families project. Oh, the slides. Yes. So you remember this slide that Kelly showed you earlier today that Sam made. And what we're going to do is we're going to, phone's going on. We've also made slides to reflect the kind of farm to institution model that these different projects are using. So while the representative talks about their project, there's going to be a slide that shows you the kind of model that they're using for those of you that are interested in that. So just that's what the slides are about. Great. So we're going to start with the Farm to Preschool and Families. Jessica?
Okay, so Sarah and I work with a team of folks in Springfield for 5 years on Farm to Preschool and Families. It's multiple strategies, so it's educating, doing professional development, the launch curriculum for the kids, trying to make this connection for the food service and a families piece around family field trips, the Go Fresh Mobile Market. So over the past 5 years, we have been struggling, as Joe said, little bellies, children, small bellies. It's been a struggle to get locally grown produce to preschools who are ordering very small amounts of food, maybe on a weekly or every other week basis, that need someone to drive it there because the executive director might also be the cook who might also be the teacher. And it's been a challenge. So we've tried multiple ways of doing it. Joe delivered the first year, it was awesome. Then we tried AC Produce, a wholesaler in Springfield, the second year. The third year, it was tough. And now this year, we're going to try something new, which might be local is really just like West Springfield and Agawam, how local, it's over.
Hi, good morning, everyone. The Holyoke Kindergarten Initiative is a program that runs in the Holyoke Public School classrooms. It's piloting this year in 10 classrooms in 3 schools. And it's a little bit of a different concept with regard to farm to institution, because what we're doing is using local food and farming to teach very young kids about where their food comes from and the basic concepts of what is sometimes food versus any times food, what is grown nearby. There is a vibrant school gardening component as well. We involve the families with cooking demonstrations. And Kelly Irwin and I had actually piloted this in Massachusetts several years ago in the Worcester Public Schools. And what I can speak to here are the dualities. In Holyoke, we have a food service management company. Sourcing local food into the cafeterias is a challenge. In Worcester, the door was wide open. We had a fabulous school food service director who bought directly from farms. So I can help you understand how to navigate both of those.
Hi, I'm Diego from Nuestras, Raices. The Photovoice project was a tool that we used to engage high school students to encourage them around school food policy, to turn food noise into food justice. It was an interactive method to capture, from the students' perspective, their critiques of school food, as well as understanding how a local food system works between Nuestras Raices Farm and the Holyoke Public Schools.
The next project is Fertile Ground at Williamsburg Schools.
About 11 years ago, we started a program in the Williamsburg Elementary School, which is about 160 students, to teach kids where their food came from and to shift the school food environment. We collaborated with Nuestras Raices youth leaders and asked them, actually employed them to come and teach the kids how to grow food and develop a community strategy. The program has evolved, and I think that one of the pieces that we can talk about quite a lot is how experiences with growing food shift food preferences, and also how the food service director began to develop partnerships with Joe Sikowski and other local farms to purchase locally and to request the garden, the kids and the school garden curriculum director to grow certain crops that she could manage in her small kitchens.
That group is going to be meeting right here at table 4. The next project is Smith College.
Hi, I'm going to be able to share with you a little bit how in higher ed we got started. I started with Ken Toon, Kelly Irwin back in 2005, and produce, we think we've solved it. But I also am willing to talk about we buy local yogurt with its local cheeses, and of course I would be glad to talk about meat, because meat continues to be a challenge. But this certainly isn't a fad. This is, our students want good food, they want quality food. And I think I would be glad to talk about, we're looking for herbs, we have international students, we have Asian dining common programs, we have high flavor profile dining. So again, we'd be glad to talk about that. Thank you.
And the next project is Farm to Hospital.
Good morning, everybody. First off, I just want to thank PVGrows for the opportunity and the invitation to participate in today's forum. Thank you all. As mentioned earlier, my name is Matt Perpetua. I'm the manager of Food and Nutrition Services at Baystate Medical Center. I think it's important that I start off with our mission, which kind of ties into why we became what we are up on this graph. Our mission is to be a leader and innovator through excellence in the science of nutrition and culinary arts. One of the ways we continue to meet our mission is by supporting local and regional businesses within our communities, such as produce and dairy farmers. Because we believe local food is about the future, supporting our local farms helps keep these farms in our communities, which ensures that our children and grandchildren will have access to nurturing food throughout the upcoming years and so forth. We couldn't have done this alone, though. We developed a lot of relationships throughout the years. And not to leave anybody out, but I'm going to try to do my best to capture everybody. Healthcare Without Harm, Partners for a Healthier Community, Fresh Point, and all those groups were really essential to keeping us at task with our mission. So that's current state. Well, quickly, I have to say this. I know it's over. But our future goal, this is real exciting stuff, is we're looking to partner with some groups in the area, primarily Baystate Community Health Planning, Wellspring, and potentially Fresh Advantage. Who's Marydale? She's here somewhere. To build and operate a 40,000 square foot greenhouse in the greater Springfield area to produce specialty produce that we can then sell off to anchor institutions, schools, supermarkets, and other markets within the region. Create jobs and partnerships with vocational schools and so forth. So pretty exciting stuff.
Thank you. Thanks so much. And the Farm to Hospital.
Can I add to this one?
Sure.
I just want to say that the hospital one is slightly different from the others in that we've got Matt from Baystate, but we also have Marydale and John. Marydale's with Fresh Advantage and John Stoddard's with Healthcare Without Harm. So they're professionals at working with many different hospitals, so it's kind of like having two consultants who work with a variety of hospitals. And we thought about splitting those tables, but really if you're interested in hospitals, we want to have all those resources in one place.
Great. And those resources are going to be out in the hall at table 6. And the next project is the Food Bank Farm of Western Mass and Mountain View Farm.
Okay, the food bank exists to prevent hunger in our region, so we're the left circle of that Venn diagram, household food security. We play a role in the right-hand circle through the food bank farm, trying to get local produce to families who need it here in Western Massachusetts. We're not farmers, we own a farm. The way we do it is we partner with a local CSA, as we have since 1992, and Elizabeth will talk about that.
Hello everyone, I'm Liz from Mountain View Farm, and my family farmed in East Hampton. We partnered with the Food Bank of Western Mass to, we have sort of a unique relationship. We can talk more about it, but what we do is we farm about 32 acres of land that the food bank owns, and instead of giving them traditional sort of cash rent, we give them 100,000 pounds of food in exchange for the land. And so it's kind of a mutually beneficial relationship that works for both. The farmer provides us with a lot of land security, and allows us to diversify. And I'm done.
Great, thank you. And that project is also going to be out in the hall at table 7. The next project is Western Mass Food Processing Center's freezing project.
Hi, so we have the Western Mass Food Processing Center up in Greenfield, and we work with specialty food items, sauces and things like that. We do them for retail, but also in like 5-gallon buckets for institutions. And then a couple of years ago, we started doing the frozen vegetable program. So we freeze carrots, peppers, and broccoli, 5-pound bags. We work through both, all kinds of distributors, Cisco, Chartwell's, PFG, but also some schools directly take them. We're also part of, Kelly Irwin mentioned the Farm Institution in New England, and so I've been working with processors around New England. Yesterday I was with 7 of them. We were out at FoodX in Boston. Last month we were up in Vermont. So there's a lot that we're trying to share. Just like we're trying to share here in the Pioneer Valley, we're also trying to learn around New England. One of our big challenges is the right-sized equipment. There's some equipment for Jolly Green Giant to process, but there really isn't much for this regional size. So, but we do want to thank Mass Department of Ag and USDA. They have helped us get some equipment. So I hope you can join us.
Great, thank you. And that project will also be out in the hall at table 8. And the last project is the Black River Produce Meat Cutting Project.
Hello. Okay, Black River Produce is a 35-year-old wholesale broker and distributor of fresh foods. We're based in southern Vermont. We service Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, part of New York, and a little bit outside of that area. We started in produce and have gradually expanded to other fresh food categories, including seafood, dairy, specialty grocery items. We do a big organic line, and now meat. So about 10 years ago, we started a local meat project, and just now are expanding that with a new meat processing center, again based out of southern Vermont. And with this project, it's really exciting. It's a kind of mid-scale processing center, really looking to fill in some of the challenges and bottlenecks that purchasers, whether they're institutional or restaurants, are finding in sourcing local source-verified meats. So some of the things that Chris and Kathy talked about, really looking at source verification, transparency across the supply chain, food safety, and all those issues. So really looking forward to talking about those with you at my table.
Great, and they'll be at table 9 out in the hall as well. So at this point, I just want to encourage each of you to go to a table that has a project that is of interest to you and join that conversation. And we're going to have about 45 minutes for those small group discussions.